Hi guys, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, big welcome back. I'm so glad you guys are here. So I actually am recording and it's daylight out. We have kind of overcast here in Michigan, but you can actually see a little bit of blue sky. And it's kind of coming in and out a little bit, so the video may still do that, but I think the lighting is at least going to behave itself, so I'm really excited about that. A lot to talk about today, and the first thing I want to talk about for shop update is going to just be more or less my work in progress. One in particular is using my Multifarious Nature yarn, so we'll jump into that one first. So that is, it's the Slouchy Brioche Socks by Kari Sinks. Keep looking down because I have to look at my notes. I'm using my Multifarious Nature colorway in Scarecrow, and I just did a little bit of knitting, and I did screw up, I think. I'm pretty sure I screwed up. So this is what it looks like. It is a beautiful variegated and speckled yarn, heavily speckled, heavily variegated. It's gonna get a little bit blasted. There's so much beautiful daylight though, you guys. I want to let the natural light in. But you can see there's some green and brown and light pink. So I really only probably knit about half an inch on this. I'm gonna be real. Like, I really did not do a lot on this. I just picked it up after I'd recently finished some projects, because I actually have 2 works in progress that are now finished objects to show you guys. But yeah, I think I screwed up the brioche where I missed the wraps, where you like when you slip one yarn over is what it is for brioche, and I know that I did that where I screwed it up. So these are just socks for me, and I am not going to rip all the way back and start over, because it takes a long time to do brioche. It just does. If you haven't done brioche, it does time consuming, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing it. But if you get distracted, which I did, because I'm bouncing between so many projects, and most of my projects are not brioche. So it's just one of those things where, yeah, I know I kind of screwed it up. But I love the color. I do really enjoy this pattern. And I'm going to be working more on this and more on other projects, because I finished 2 projects. So I now can start focusing on the other projects that I have going on that are still in the works in progress. Sorry, I'm covering my mouth. I just realized that maybe some people read lips. Oh dear. Oh goodness. But yeah, I have other projects that I do want to cast on, so I do want to finish some projects that I've already have in the works that have been a slow process. So this is one of those where I've had it probably on the needles for a little while now, and I just need to like focus on it and get cracking, because I love this colorway. And it's funny because I don't work on this project that often, but when I do, I just want to keep on knitting it, because it's when you use variegated or speckled colors, every time you get like a little speckle, it changes, and you're like, oh, I want to see what happens next. So you just kind of want to keep going. So it's a really fun sock. I think this is going to be a comfy, warm one too. And but it is a merino. Pretty sure this is no, this is a BFL. This is a BFL nylon blend, 75-25. So because of that, I think it's going to be warm, but I think because I don't think it's going to be too hot for the summertime, but because it's going to be like a mid-calf sock, it might be too warm for the summer. I mean, I'm a big sock wearer, but I tend to wear like little ankle socks, so like shorties. I knit up shorties, so I will probably be wearing shorties more in the summer than this. But I feel like this is that perfect color for all seasons. It has kind of the warmth for the fall and some of the bright like springy colors like the soft pink and the soft orange. I just feel like it really lends itself to like every season too, so you could wear these socks all the time. I love it. So that is, again, Scarecrow. Just such a pretty color. It's so pretty. I love it. I love it. And again, this is the Slouchy Brioche sock by Kari Sinks. I do still have this in the shop. This is a limited run colorway. So once it is gone, it's gone. So hop on over there if you'd like to get your hands on that. And I guess for shop update, I do have something really exciting. I can't share it in this video, but I have something in the works that's really exciting. And once it gets published by the person I am collaborating with, I'm really excited because, yeah, I can't wait to share the news with you guys. So it's a big deal for me. But anyway, next work in progress, Biscuit socks. I did work on my Biscuit sock. I did. And just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but I am working on the heel turn right now. So I am finally, this is my second sock. So the first sock was done and we are working on the second sock now. So you can see the really cute little biscuit stitch pattern. It's so cute. I really like this sock. I like this pattern. I am using, I'm not sure if it's necessarily vintage. It's called Sofio is the brand. It's Italian yarn, but I want to say it's like a big box store brand or something like that. It is wool and nylon blend. I think it's 80-20 or 75 or 50. No, this one's 50-50, I think. I should just look and tell you guys the actual 50-50. So 50% wool, 50% nylon. Not sure the type of wool, it doesn't specify. But you can see the really cute little heel. So I've got that I have partridge heel going on, and now I'm doing the heel turn, which is like, I guess a Dutch heel is what it's called. So I'm excited to try them out because I have not actually worn Dutch heeled socks before, or I have partridge heels. So it's a good way to test out that durability, but it has that slip stitch like heel, so it has that thickness. It's almost like a dual layer of thickness. So I'm really excited to test them out. I have a great feeling that these are going to be good. The heel, I'm just curious how that's going to be. I think it's going to be great because I think it's going to hug my heel. That's the one thing about, I'm trying to remember the name of that type of sock, or heel. There's a heel where it does, I think it's wrap and turns for the increases and decreases. Oh well, if you guys know the name of that heel, comment in the comments below so that I can get a reminder. But it's not my favorite heel. I've made a couple, I think at least one pair of socks for sure with that type of heel, and I was not a big fan because it gets loose quickly and it tends to then rub quite a bit, and because of how I walk and how I carry myself as I walk, my heel just starts to wear, and then I get a hole or partial hole because the nylon's there at least to keep it together. But I now have at least 2 pairs of socks that I do actually need to darn at some point because I would not throw them out. I spent way too much time on them. So I just need to take, a little bit of time and just darn the holes, but I haven't done that before, so I just need to do it. But yeah, this one I'm thinking it's going to be really nice. It's got this great like 2x2 ribbing, and it's nice and soft. This is definitely going to be like more of a fall sock or winter sock, and I'm excited. I mean, I don't like wear my socks seasonally because I have some fun like, cheap big box store socks that are like they are seasonal. I think I probably got them as a seasonal gift, and they have like a bunny on it or something like that, and it's for like Easter, and I just wear them whenever I just do. But I have a feeling I'm going to really gravitate toward wanting to wear these in the fall. But just to give you the finished idea, this is what it'll look like when it's finished. It's got this really cute decreased toe. I actually love that too, so I'm really excited to test. There's a lot of different sock elements in this sock that I haven't ever worn before, so I'm really curious how they wear, and if it wears really well, I have a feeling I would make this like my go-to sock because it has just enough interest in it to be like a vanilla sock for me. And vanilla socks usually just stockinette, but not that I have anything against that. I just find that, I get a little bored of it. Like I need something to keep me involved in it and interested. So this biscuit patterning is just enough. It's mostly stockinette. but then there's like a little pearl bump like every so many rows. This is a free pattern, by the way, so if you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend you jump on over. It is by Isabella Handmade Stories, and you definitely should check. It's on Ravelry. I'll of course include the link below, so you don't have to just go search for it. I will give you the link. But I literally have only used one ball so far. This is what I have left of the one ball, and there is how many yards? I don't think it does. It tell me? Yeah, 218 yards on this. So I'm actually really impressed. I think I can get, you know, the whole set. I don't know. I might run out. I might run out and I might have to use the other ball. But otherwise, I was able to get a whole, you know, a whole pair of socks, which that's, to me, pretty impressive when you can get like, and actually not shorty socks, by the way, too. That's pretty impressive. So really good pattern, really good pattern. All right, so we're gonna go into finished objects. I'm wearing one. The Forrester Sweater. I finally finished it, and it's probably because I haven't seen you guys in like 2 weeks. Last weekend, I was really, really stressed. Really stressed. And we were traveling to see family. And by the time I got home, I did not have it in me to do a video. And I am grateful, just stressed with the, going transition from one job to the next. It's trying to, make sure I have all my ducks in a row before I leave my past job that I no longer have. And then I'll start my new job tomorrow. I'm really excited about that, but that's life update stuff. But anyway, we'll get into that later. But yeah, so that's why I didn't record last week. So I do apologize that I missed a week, but I just did not have it in me, and I would prefer to be upfront with you guys. I just don't want to be like the Debbie Downer, and I always try to make this a place where people can escape and enjoy themselves and while you're knitting, so, or whatever you're up to. But yeah, let's get into the sweater. So that's why I finished my sweater. Because the last time that you guys saw this, I took my progress keeper off, but it was like here. So I was working on the bottom, which is, it's a good length, but it's a little short to me. So I did actually follow the pattern, like to a T, which I don't normally do. Well, I guess I didn't for this. I think I actually did end up making it longer, believe it or not, than the pattern called for, sort of. But I do slightly feel like it needs to be longer. So I do want to almost maybe make it longer. I have a very little yarn left. I don't really have much, but I would have more if I use my sleeve yarn. So I did the sleeves to pattern. Like I followed the pattern exactly to do the sleeves, and they're long. I mean, like these are long sleeves, which some people, like my sister, she would love this length. Like this is, you can tuck your hands in it, which actually is really nice, I guess. If it's really cold, it is really nice. But I'm not a really long, I usually like, my ballerina sleeves, which are usually like up here. So that would give you a couple inches. But it has a really beautiful pattern on the cuff area here. And that worked out really well. And I think I did it differently. I don't know if I did or not, actually. But I know for sure, the way I did the cuffs, I actually held, so it's the color dominance with color work. So holding one color in your right hand versus your left hand when you're doing the color work. I think that's how it works. Like if you hold one in your left hand, that becomes the dominant color and it's more prominent. I don't know. I don't think I did that up here. I'm not 100% positive on that. But I just, for some reason, I don't think I did the color dominance. I think I did it the opposite, which I don't know, you really can't tell. To me, you can't tell, but I kind of wonder if I did. But it was a really fun pattern. Really fun pattern. The ribbing is a, you know, your nice little ribbing up here. But the ribbing on the cuffs, there you go. The ribbing on the cuffs is quite unique. It's a different type of ribbing than I've ever done. And it's just based on the way the patterning is, which this is a paid for pattern. I did pay for it, so I don't want to give too much away. But I really enjoyed it. And you guys, I cannot believe it. So I had one, and I want to say like a half plate of Plutalopi, which is what I used, this beautiful purple color that is on the colorwork up here, and then the colorwork on the cuffs. And I still have not even used up the quarter or half a plate of the Plutalopi that I had left over from my other sweater. So I still have like 1 1/4 plates of Plutalopi left, which is insane. I can probably make a hat. I could make gloves. I mean, I'm trying to go through my stash, and I still, when I look at it, I still have like in my head the same amount of this that I started with, which is insane. So I really am not making much room with that. But I did go through almost all of this beautiful wool that is fisherman's wool. It is the by Lion's brand, Fisherman's Wool. I think it's called Oatmeal is the colorway. Really pretty. So this pattern is great. The one thing that I found is this is my own fault, by the way. I started using the shorty needles from my Xiaogu. I will show you. These. I started using my Xiaogu minis because I use a size 6 needle. And so I used that when I was working on the rest of the body. And then for sure when I picked up the stitches here. For the whole body, I don't really see necessarily the difference when I started using the shorties. For the sleeves, I do. I definitely see a difference. So at least to me, the stitches up here are a little bit looser. Now this is also color work area, which that sometimes can need to be looser because sometimes it can be tight otherwise. So I just noticed this kind of like puckered look to it. However, the pattern photos do kind of look like it's supposed to have some puckered look. So maybe it's just supposed to look that way. This is fully blocked. So I did soak it and then block it. So it did like poof up and everything, but so it's gonna be nice and warm. I think it's gonna be nice and warm and wonderful, and especially with the long sleeves like this. But I think I'll just leave the sleeves. I think I'm gonna leave it, but I am debating whether I want to lengthen it or not. I don't know. I mean, I always tend to wear tank tops underneath my sweaters anyway, just because it adds an extra layer of warmth. So my sweaters are warm though. I mean, this is a really nice warm sweater, but it's just too short. Like I would not be able to wear this comfortably to work without having something underneath it. Just because, I mean, I don't know how my new job is going to be compared to my prior job. My prior job, I was constantly like lifting for things and getting things off shelves and stuff like that. And this sweater would not be appropriate for that just because, yeah, you need to remain covered when you're at work. So, makes sense. Sorry, I'm so thirsty. Goodness. Okay. Dehydration. It's so hot. Or hot. It's cold, but it's so warm in our house. We actually had to turn on a humidifier because it's getting dry in here. So next finished object. So I actually have 2 finished objects. So I'm wearing one of them, which I do highly recommend this pattern. If you want a really fun color work that is not overly complicated because it's only 2 colors, I do highly recommend this pattern. This is, again, by Olga Potano, and it's the Forrester Sweater, and I'll include the link below. It is really nice. I do want to forewarn you, though, if you want the sleeves to be shorter, just look at the measurements and then actually measure like against sweaters that you like, because this is a lot longer than the sweaters I normally gravitate towards. And I don't know, I do really like the length of the sleeves though, the look of it. I think the look of it is really good. So it's up to you. Figure out what you want to do, but you're going to be investing a lot of time into it, so you want to make sure you really, really like it. I do feel like I might want to make it longer though, but for me it's always hard because once I finish a project, I just kind of want to finish it. I don't want to go back. And I tend to not go back. I tend to not go back and work on it. The only time that I tend to is if I actually like rip it out, you know, and completely start over, which I've done many times, especially with socks, many times. So, but with sweaters, you put so much time into it compared to socks, like so much time into it. You really want to make sure you're going to wear it. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So Advent Envy. That is my next finished object. And by finished, this is not completely finished. It is, but I didn't weave in the ends. I've woven in the ends of the sweater and blocked it. But this, I forgot, because full disclosure, I thought I had woven in the ends, and I didn't. And so I brought it, and now I realize I didn't weave in the ends. So I wove in the ends for the most part. I did the weave in Stephen method, so I wove in the ends as I am knitting. If you're not familiar with that, it's Stephen West's like weaving in the ends tutorial. It's on YouTube. If I remember, I will definitely put a link below, but it's so easy and makes your life so much easier. So this was using my wonderful Advent. That was my gifted Advent. This is not my. This is Emma's yarn Advent. There we go. My Christmas gift for my husband, and I made the Advent Envy shawl with it. And here is the end. It's got these fun little, kind of a little lace patterning here, going down the very end. In the photos, she put little pom-poms on the ends of the lace area to kind of weigh it down, I'm assuming. And then it opens up that lace as it's hanging on you. So I don't necessarily think I'm going to do that. Pom-poms get in the way when I try to wear stuff. I don't have anything against pom-poms. I just personally don't care for them on my shawls. I've done it once. I did it once, and I don't know if I'd do it again, but it's a really beautiful shawl. It's very long, very long. So this is where you kind of like start, is in this area, or no, actually it's down here. And then you work your way up to here, doing a wonderful pattern with some slip stitches in there. I love this pattern. I loved this pattern, by the way. And there's a beautiful border that goes along the outside, that goes along all sides. And then you pick up stitches, and then you do this other section. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. She did beautiful. The colors are beautiful. Okay, so Emma's yarn, props to you. Very pretty, very pastel, bright, or not pastel, very bright and colorful compared to colors that I tend to dye for myself. This is definitely my jam here. Purples, I love purples and reds. That is my thing. The greens are part of my thing too, but these like teal, like minty green, and yellows that are bright, things like that are kind of not my jam when it comes to dyeing. So this was a way for me to step out of my comfort zone, and it's really fun. So it's just super fun. It is huge. Look at this, it's huge. Okay, so like you easily could just wrap this all around you. And it is a Fruity Pebbles scarf, is it not? And you look at all these fun colors. Does it remind you of like Fruity Pebbles, or I don't know, tropical wonderfulness? I love it. It's so fun. It's so fun. It just is. And I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to my like scarves or shawls, I mainly do shawls now, but like shawls or scarves, I just love it to be fun. I want it to be fun. I do wear more neutral ones, of course, but like this is just so fun. You have like your coat and you've got this party going on. And it's just so fun, and it doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to take yourself so serious. Do your thing, right? Because you're going to be wearing it. So make sure it's something you're going to wear, because clearly this took me some time. I started this when I started my other Advent, but I didn't work on it as religiously as I did my other one, but it's huge. It's absolutely huge. And so I started it December 1st. I finished it a couple days ago. I want to say like Monday or Friday, or Monday or Sunday, I think, of this past week. Monday. I think it was Monday. And so clearly it took a while. It took almost 2 months to make for me. But I just did it during my lunch break for the most part, and then in the evenings I started doing it when I finished my other Advent. I loved it. I love this pattern. I highly recommend it. Didn't say who it was by. So it's Advent Envy by Amanda Rios, and it's using Emma's Yarn Advent. It's really pretty, and it was so much fun to do. So next year I definitely, if I get an Advent for Christmas, if I die in Advent, I'm still debating if I want to do it again. It was a lot of work. It's worth it, but it was a lot of work. So I don't know. We'll see if I want to take that on. But if I do decide, because I'll have to decide soon-ish, I will let you know. And the pre-orders would be up, but I'm debating. Definitely debating. I've already seen people post that their pre-orders for their Advents are up. One in particular, they already sold out. Like, they sold out already. It's January. I mean, the 2021 Advents are still being worked on. Like, even if you started at December 1st, you're still working on your 2021 Advent. Like, wow. I mean, my goodness. Some people are, like, really ahead of things compared to others. But I was thinking, like, summertime is to, like, put a pre-order up. So, crazy. But yeah, highly recommend it. I would definitely do this pattern again. I really, really would. It's fun because it's designed for an Advent. Like, it actually is already broken up. It has each section for each color, and you don't have to think about it. You just kind of follow the pattern. Oh, this might be a little bit bigger than the pattern's supposed to be because I kept going a little bit further out a few colors. I lost count. It was definitely my fault. I was not using my little row counter like I should have been. And my analog row counter, I normally use it, I didn't, and I lost track, and here we are. So I do want to say that. I do want to be full disclosure that this is probably just a little bit bigger than it's normally supposed to be, but all in all, this has got to be close to the pattern. You know, you're still going to end up with a really nice big shawl. That's a lot of fun, and it blends your colors really nice, especially if it is a speckled yarn. I feel like this, or variegated, this is a really excellent pattern for those colorways. I'm so excited. I definitely want to do this again. And I have a bunch of leftover yarn from my Advents. I mean, this is the Emma's Yarn Advent, and then I have a bunch of my Multifarious Nature ones up on this dresser that I have in here filled with yarn. So yeah, I might combine them. I have a bunch of these minis here too. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I do definitely want to knit it again. I love that pattern. And that was a paid for pattern. I did buy this pattern out of Envy. I also need to take a photo of this to post on Instagram and tag because her pattern is so new. There's no tagged photos yet. I really want to make sure that there are some examples out there other than hers, which was a beautiful example. But I just really want more options so that people can see that. I think everybody enjoys looking at different variations. So those are my two finished objects. So I did finish 2, which is awesome because now I have a more manageable amount of projects on the needles. I think I still have like 4, possibly 5 projects going on right now. And of course I'm going to be knitting another one. Oh my gosh, I'm going to add one to the needles, you guys. I was trying so hard to get back down to 3 projects. I was. But apparently not that hard. Because I watch Andrea Mowry. Oh my word, my brain. I watch Andrea Mowry on YouTube. Her I'll Knit If I Want To, and now it's I'll Knit or Spin If I Want To. And I got sucked in because she talked about it, and I was like, yeah, I need to do it. She's having a DRK every day, spin it to knit along. And you don't have to. I mean, you can totally just knit. You find a fun yarn you have and knit with it. Or you can do what I'm doing, which I'm spinning up some yarn I have because I have some fiber from the Fiber Festival that I went to in Michigan last year, the Michigan Fiber Festival. It is llama yarn, or llama fiber, and it's and a mix. There's some other like various fiber in there, but it's primarily llama. It's very soft, and I've never spun with it before. And I bought 2 vats of it, different colors. And so I decided, well, I'm just going to take one and I'm going to finish spinning it, and I'm going to make the DRK Everyday Socks with it and join the DRK Everyday, spin it to knit along, and that will motivate me. And by God, it did. It really did. So this is my original spin that I did. I already had this spun up. This was one of my third skeins that I've ever spun. And I'm definitely getting more consistent. However, I then did some more this was my first one. Take it back. This was my first one. That was my first one. This is my newer one. They're still pretty good. They're pretty close because I want to try to be as consistent as possible because I'm making socks out of it. So I did spin up more of it, and here's how now you'll be able to see the variations in the colors in this fiber. So there's greens and browns throughout this fiber blend. Some of the green is probably a different fiber, but some of the llama was also dyed. I believe but here, look, reddish brown. Like this section that I was working on out of there was very primarily that red brown, where in here it's nicely blended with the green. There's actually some that's just like super red brown. So I will have to figure out how to kind of divide that into these socks. They're just going to be so random, but they're just going to be so pretty. And this would be my first knitting with my hand spun. So I still have some on the bobbin that I need to spin off, or ply off is what I'm actually doing. So it's not on the bobbin. I've taken it off of the bobbin and caked it up, and I am actually now plying it. It's 2-ply, and I am plying it so that I can then knit the DRK Everyday Socks, which is so much fun. I can't wait. I have not knit these socks yet, so that'll be fun. And of course, it's another Andrea Mowry pattern. This is probably the 3rd pattern of hers that I've done. I clearly have a pattern designer preference. I'm really trying not to be. I'm trying to try new patterns and new designers out all the time. And Andrea Mowry makes wonderful patterns. And I got sucked in because I really want to spin more. It's another fun thing that I enjoy doing. So I'm getting better. I'm getting more consistent, you guys. I am getting more consistent. And I am going to then knit the socks with this. So I still have probably another I would say about that much. Another chunk like this of yarn. So I should have plenty to make the socks. And I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited, and I will tell you how that goes, because I have never knit up llama socks before. I've never spun llama, and I've never had llama socks that I've made. So I'm really excited about that because it's very soft. Very, very soft. And hopefully it will be durable. We will see. These might be socks that I just wear like to bed. I don't wear socks to bed, but I might if they're wonderfully comfortable. Okay, so life update. Like I said, I'm starting a new job tomorrow. So that's new. That's exciting. I'd say it's stressful. It's always like a little nerve-wracking, a little bit, because you're starting a new job, but I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited. It'll be, I think, an excellent change just for me. I need it. I definitely need it. So I am looking forward to it. I am. And goodness, excuse me. So I will be starting that job tomorrow. And yeah, it's full-time. Still full-time. And it's closer to home though, so I do feel like I'm going to be able to have more free time to do like the dyeing and knitting. So very excited about that. And then also for life update, your eyes don't deceive you, I cut my hair. My hair is shorter. I just chopped it off, you know, I just made it shorter. A change. I need a change. That happened last weekend too. Last weekend, a lot got done, and it needed to get done. I was just stressed. So, what do you do when you get stressed? Cut your hair. I haven't cut my hair in a long time, so it was needed. I cut off, I think, almost 5 inches. When you say it out loud, that seems like a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. Like, my hair was a lot longer. But I feel like it's a nice change. It's nice too because I have like wavy curly hair, and it really weighs down my hair as it gets longer, so it allows my hair to kind of bounce back a little better being shorter. So it's a fun change. I just needed it. Sometimes you need to do that. And so I bought some new clothes for work. That's kind of fun. Something fun to do. New job, new clothes. Yeah, but what's going on with you guys? Like, what's happening? What's happening in your life? You know, what are you up to? Are you making anything? Have you started a new job? I'd love to hear about it. Please comment below. And I hope you guys are staying happy and healthy. And I hope you're definitely creating. Yeah, there's just a lot of. It's that time of year, right? Flu's, cold, apparently COVID, you know. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. So, hopefully, everybody's staying healthy. As healthy as we can. And I think that's about it for this week. But I'll keep you posted. Hopefully, I'll get some socks. Hopefully, I'll have a pair of socks done next weekend. We'll see. I'm hopeful. I feel like these biscuit socks could be done next weekend. I feel like they could be. Just need to buckle down and do it. So if I get those done, then I might actually be down to 4 projects. Then I'm almost at 3, because I know I'm going to be casting these on very soon. I've been putting it off. I've wanted to cast them on already. But I actually do need to cast off some socks in order to cast these on, because I don't have needles. So there you go. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.